Anyone who shows up late to an appointment that he considers very important, whether it's house selling or even stuff with our cars or anything with the house, he doesn't want to work with them because to him, that already gives him an indication of the type of professionalism he can expect from the person. So something as simple as being on time could literally get you a listing appointment, because being on time, I hate to say this, Tristian, is already setting you apart from your competition.
Because the management and transparency is what's very important. So once you submit a referral, you're going to have your own Home Advantage account, and it's going to tell you where everything sits. So if you have 10 referrals that you've sent into the network, it's going to give you all 10 referrals. It's going to tell you every milestone that client is sitting in, whether they're touring homes, whether they're in escrow. And you now can manage through the Home Advantage application as far as what your pipeline looks like for the referrals that you've sent. And so it's pretty sophisticated, and it's all click of a button, guys.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Jake and I are cold. We've got Leisel Taylor out of the DMV area. That's
DC,
thank you.
DC, Maryland, and Virginia. You always forget DC.
I forget the D. So you've got referrals to her, send them her way. And she's a really good friend of mine, and so is her husband. I love Leisel. So I'm really excited to be here with her because she's going to share with us the 5 steps or 5 things you really need to take into consideration to take more listings. Yeah. And she's done it really well. So let's go to you, Leisel. How long have you been in the business first?
Why are you trying to show my age? I hate
Brand new. You just got your license.
I just got my license last week. Okay.
Wow. Already a mega agent.
But seriously speaking, I actually got my license back in January 2012. So what are we now? 10 years in? Am I doing the math?
Yeah.
No, 11.
11 years.
11. Oh my God. I feel like 11 years in. Hey, right. California. Hey, Minneapolis. They're telling us hi.
Oh, what's up, guys? Let us know what city and state you're from, and then give us the weather. Give us a weather report.
Yeah.
It's clear and cold in Southern California, where Jake and I are. Lisa, is it snowing where you're at?
No, the weather is actually starting to warm up. We're supposed to be in the 50s today, so we have nice weather. So someone said it's 24 degrees. You can keep it. We're good over here.
I like that. I like that. All right, Leisel runs a team, and she also has a brokerage.
No more team. Husband took over the team. Oh, yeah.
Your husband runs the team. I apologize. Yes. Husband runs the team. You run the brokerage.
Yes.
Village Properties. Right?
Village Premier Collection.
Yeah, I quit.
This is what happens when you don't talk to me in 3 weeks. That's what happens.
I'm on the right webinar, which is 5 steps to take listings. Okay, here we go.
You're the right.
Leisel, what's number 1?
Well, you said you wanted to talk about this first. And guys, what I'm sharing with you is not just textbook theory. It's actually what I do in real life when I go on listing appointments and how I've been able to take so many in my career. So Tristian, you love this, what I mentioned, be on time.
Be on time.
And I mean, it's a simple thing, but so many agents mess up on this. I've actually gotten 2 listings for just being on time to an appointment where the seller literally opened the door and said, oh, you're like 2 minutes early. And I'm like, yes. And he was like, okay, come sit at the table, show me what you're going to do, and I'm going to sign later. And the reason this really worked is both of the clients that had signed with me right away, they were military. Yes. And you know how military people are. They are really, really, really sticklers for time. So if you tell them 11 o'clock, you better be there like 10:50, 10:55 at the latest. And both of those sellers actually shared that they couldn't believe how unprofessional the other agents were by being late. They said even though they liked their presentation, but they just couldn't get past the fact that they were late to such an important appointment. And I think sometimes as agents, we forget that selling a house is one of the biggest decisions someone will ever make in their lives. Yes, we do it every day, but we take for granted that this house is the one huge asset that a person may own. So selling it is a big deal, and we should not be taking these matters lightly or thinking that, or it's something that they do every day, even though that's something we do every day. So I definitely have to share being on time. And these were like, the first listing was $950 and the second one I took was like $850. So these were not like low price listings. So saying everything to say, be on time. Just be on time. It doesn't hurt to be on time.
Psychologically, you start at a different place if you're already late. Like if you show up late and I was selling my house, right? Not you, Leisel, but in general, agents, my wife would be like, we're not hiring them. That would be it. Right? No matter how great you are, you would never, as long as we're interviewing other agents, right? You just couldn't recover from that. What a great point, Leisel.
Yeah. And even my husband, he says that too. Anyone who shows up late to an appointment that he considers very important, whether it's house selling or even stuff with our cars or anything with the house, he doesn't want to work with them because to him, that already gives him an indication of the type of professionalism he can expect from the person. So something as simple as being on time could literally get you a listing appointment, because being on time, I hate to say this, Tristian, is already setting you apart from your competition. So, and I know some people are like, is she really talking about being on time? But it works. Be on time, right?
Very true.
Another step I definitely want to bring up is USP, having a unique selling proposition. Some people don't realize how important this is in their business. Like when you're sitting down in front of someone and you are about to present to them your marketing presentation because you're trying to get their $1 million house to sell. What is your unique selling proposition? What is it that's going to set you apart from the competition? What is the one thing that you are going to do differently that all the other realtors are not going to do? That's something people are not thinking about. Tristian, you're like, okay, I didn't think about that.
I like that. And you know what I'm going to do, just to give us a little bit more context, is I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what are some good unique selling propositions for real estate agents?
My husband, I think he's cheating on me with GPT. Everything he does is GPT. He's like, let me go talk to it. I'm like, I'm sick of you right now with this GPT.
I mean, look, I'm going to share my screen really quick, just because some people can't really understand what a good unique selling proposition is. And it's already giving us some.
It's basically saying what I just said. What sets you apart from your competition, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's telling you that right now. So if you're on ChatGPT, type it up. If you're stuck on what some ideas are, but Leisel, for you, what is your unique selling proposition? What does that look like?
What does it look like?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it looks like that. Number one, I'm a broker. Of course, there are other brokers. Communication. I always say that I am big on communication. And I have a right hand I'm all over the place, but it's basically communication and making you feel like family throughout the transaction. Because yes, even though this is a huge purchase, I want the person who I'm working with to feel like they're working with family so that they can confide in me. Sometimes I feel like people get too personal and tell me too much information, because sometimes some of the text messages, I'm like, I didn't really need to know that. But it goes back to people work with who they like and trust. So I think in meeting with me, people already feel like they like me and they can trust me. And that is what my unique selling proposition is. I want you to feel comfortable working with me because you're working with family, quote unquote. Yeah.
But that is what you give. You're very friendly that way, right?
Yeah. But don't get it twisted. The bull can come out if you play with me. But
you told me stories. So there you go.
But yeah, and then another thing I want to say about your USP, make sure it's highlighted throughout your marketing presentation, because that's what I highlight in my marketing presentation. I have like these little family things in there so people can really feel that they're going to work with an agent who's going to make them feel like family. So definitely stay true to your USP. And I love what you just said, Tristan. Even in talking to me, you can feel that I am going to make the person feel like family. So that's my personality, and that's what I work with to give me the edge over other agents. Because, of course, everyone does not have the same personality. Some agents may be a little bit more, put the walls up, whereas with me, they can let their hair down. We can have conversations. And like I said, sometimes they may share too much information, which sometimes can be good and other times could be okay, but definitely stay true to your USP. And according to what Tristan just said, use Chat GPT if you need help in trying to figure out what your USP is.
It's finished, by the way, finished typing as you were giving us great information here. And I'll just show you what it typed up because I put it into a Google Doc now. It says, here are some examples of unique selling propositions for real estate agents, just in case you're having challenges. It also gave you other ideas above, but I'll put this into the chat so you guys at least have it. And it says, I provide personalized experience for every client, taking time to understand their unique needs and finding them. That's a decent one. I think the more clearer one is, I specialize in luxury properties with a network of high-end buyers and sellers who trust me and deliver. That's a unique selling proposition. That's a good one. I offer a comprehensive marketing strategy, including professional photography, virtual tours, social media promotion. I think that's getting closer. I would probably dig in to be more niche on that one. So for example, with Leisel, she has a great presence on Facebook and Instagram. So I would probably dig in deeper there. I have extensive experience in negotiating complex deals. With that, I would give experience as to what your background is, why, right? And then last one, I'm available 24/7 to my clients. I think that one is probably more inclined to be for a newer agent, somebody who's trying to break in.
I will never tell my clients I'm available 24/7.
I wouldn't either. I 100% wouldn't. But I'll tell you, if I go back to when I started, I definitely would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? We would. I mean, I picked up a phone call at 1 a.m. It was a Zillow phone call at 1 a.m. way back. And I turned it into an actual client and we closed. But I wouldn't do that anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So it just depends on where you're at. So there you go. All right. I love that one. Leisel.
And now you're going to make me tweak mine to add the social media presence because I haven't even done that. So I think I'm going to do that, especially since I just hit 5,000 followers. I'm so excited. All right. Another thing for taking listings is your business tools checklist. Like, what are you bringing with you on your actual appointment? And I have a little cheat sheet up because I want to remember to hit all the points. Good. And these are items that you should have with you on each and every listing appointment that you go on. So are you bringing with you a CMA, a comparative market analysis? Because at the end of the day, your seller wants to know what their house is worth and to make sure you're in line with what they're thinking and the neighborhood. So on market, or if you need to bring them to reality where they're thinking their house is worth $1 million, but then you bring the CMA and it really says your house is worth $500,000. So that's definitely a tool you should have in your checklist. Okay. Of course, your marketing presentation, what are you going to do to sell their house, which includes your USP that we just talked about. And I think a biggie for me is also an introduction of you and your company. Like, what do you do? Just, a little bit about you. Because, of course, they want to know who they are working with.
Yeah, I think that's easily sometimes forgotten. But I think they want to know that you want to create a quick trust. You know what we do there? And I know you do this too. But this is where social media plays a big role into creating that trust.
Yes.
Because you have people just reach out to you because of social, right?
Yes,
so you already bridge that gap. So when you show up, it's like, yeah, we want to sign with you. So it's, I love that. Yes. you make a great point.
And you know what, Tristan, sometimes that's great, but it's also like, oh my gosh, should I be scared? I've told you that already. That it's like, yes, hi. And I know your husband and you have a son. And I'm like, okay, you really went through my whole IG profile.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel with that situation, people need to edit what they share with us because it can come across as creepy at times.
Right.
But to my point, you still should have in your tool checklist some information about you. And for me, I mean, everything I'm sharing with you guys, this is exactly what I'm taking on my listing appointment. And I'm not sure if a lot of agents do this, but the one other thing I do include in my business tool checklist is estimated net sheets. Because once I give the seller a range, I'm not telling them exact prices. I'm just telling them a nice range of what their property could possibly sell for. I also have 3 scenarios of net sheets that I share with them so they can know exactly what they're taking away once their house is sold. Because sometimes, especially first-time sellers, they are not educated or they just don't know what it truly costs to sell a home. They don't know they have to take into consideration not only agents' commissions, but there's the property taxes, the escrow company fees, if there are any water escrows or any other bills outside of the DMV. I'm not sure what other states do, but I know those are 3 popular categories for selling houses in our area. And a lot of people are not aware of this. Like I've literally had to educate clients, not on just commissions, but what does the title company do? Why am I paying property taxes? And I've been paying property taxes throughout the year. What is transfer and recordation taxes? What is this, the wire fee? I'm like, yeah, the title company charges a wire fee to wire your funds. The lien release fee. So first-time sellers especially, we should be taking net sheets because we want to make sure they're educated, because what you don't want to happen is that you're going to closing and they see the closing statement for the first time and then they're like, whoa, I did not know about any of these fees. It happened to me early in my career, Tristan. My first listing I took back in 2012. And I swear to God, it was a situation at the closing table. And I said, I will never deal with something like that again.
Did it have to do with your commission or how much they ended up with, or neither?
It was just they didn't know the fees, period.
Fees altogether. Got it.
Altogether, because like I was a brand new agent and I have to take accountability. I did a piss poor job in explaining what fees it takes to, actually sell a home. So I actually took, responsibility for that because that is my job. That's my responsibility to explain to the sellers that these are the fees involved with actually selling a home. So they knew about the commissions. They were fine with that, but they didn't take into consideration, like I said, the transfer and recordation taxes, the lien release fees, the title company fees, your settlement attorney, or additional fees that can happen while you're selling a house.
Yeah.
So
on the net sheet, how do you prepare that? Do you have a company do that for you? Do you have a Google Excel sheet? What does that look like?
I am very simple, Tristan, as you know, because I'm not very techy.
Simple is better for everyone.
I use Bright. Bright MLS has net sheets in it, right in there with the right in there with the listing. So you can either go to the listing part, the search the search area where you put in the property address and it has the little $ where you can click on it. Or some people use Google or Excel spreadsheets. I keep it simple. I like using Bright because Bright is already pulling the tax information and it already has the line items that I just mentioned set up in there. So it's just a matter of me plugging in the numbers and just giving really good estimates for what title companies charge or how much a resale package will cost if the house is in an HOA. So I really go to Bright. I keep it simple. I'm not that fancy. I know some people use RPR because that is available in RPR as well. I like Bright better because it's simple and just because of my limited technology ability.
Well, no, on the simplicity side, if we think about it for the consumer too,
Mhm.
it's their first time looking through everything. So
Mhm.
having it down to one sheet where it's simple and
Mhm.
outlined, I think that will resonate well with someone like me, right?
Mhm.
A lot more.
All right. And another thing to include in your business tool checklist, and thank you for that, Tristan, is a tablet or a notebook. Because when you're sitting down with the seller, they're going to be giving you a lot of information. And then you're also going to be walking through the house. So this is a great way to take notes, because the seller is also going to share very important information with you during the listing appointment. And in my opinion, it's a good idea to be taking these notes so that when you talk with them again, you can reference those notes and look like the ultimate professional and not be like, oh, yeah, I forgot you mentioned that. When did you say that again? Or how many dogs do you have? Was it one or two? You just look like the ultimate professional, and the seller will see that you were really paying attention to what they say. I live with a notebook because I can't remember anything. And once I come back home, I put everything in my CRM. So when I'm talking to them, I always reference my CRM on all the notes I've taken. And I've mentioned some of the things that they've said to me. And they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. I can't believe you remember that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I have a great memory. I am looking at my CRM and all the notes that I
Yeah,
took
it just makes you
during
look
the
better.
appointment. Yeah. And the biggest part, which I don't want to forget, you should also be taking a blank listing agreement with you on every appointment. Okay. Because we are doing soft closes at that listing appointment table. Because in my mind, Tristan, when I'm going on an appointment, I'm with the intention of getting that blank listing agreement signed. I am not walking out with a blank listing agreement. I'm going there with the intention of getting it signed. Even if I have to handwrite it in, which my assistant hates because he hates that I handwrite everything. He's like, why don't you just type it in? And I'm like, because I don't have time to type it in. I'm printing out blank paper and I'm
Yeah,
going.
I
Yeah.
agree. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it should be pre-filled. I mean, it should be pre-filled, but as long as I have a blank listing agreement, I can fill it out by hand and have the seller sit down with me and fill in the information as we go along. I hope this is some great tips I'm sharing with everyone on here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
You got some flames from Norman, so some emoji flames. So that was good. That was good. I like it.
Oh,
And
Jen says so good. Yay, Jen, thank you. I want to make sure because like I said, this is literally what I am doing on when I go on my appointments. Because I've actually spoken to some of my agents in my own brokerage, and they're like, yeah, when I leave, I just send it on DocuSign or DocLoop to sign. And I'm like, your sellers don't know what the hell can I say hell? I'm sorry. They don't know what the
you
they
can also
don't
use
know.
other words, so we're
I
good.
can't say other words. Okay.
Bad words too. So don't worry.
Okay, good. Because no, when we send them all these documents, I know in Maryland it's about 30 or 40 pages. They don't know what this information is. So that's why I like taking the blank paperwork because I can sit down and explain everything to them as they're signing. And, I'm like, yes, this means such and such initial here. And yes, this means such and such. Oh, yeah, signature here. I'm talking to you as you're signing because I'm making sure you understand. And even if there's a pause, the seller will ask me a question and I can explain it to them right then and there, as opposed to sending all the documents through DocLoop or DocuSign and calling them the next day. And they're like, girl, I don't know what the hell you just sent me. Especially if you're dealing with an S&C personality, they are definitely not signing anything unless they understand what they're signing.
Agreed.
So definitely want to share these tidbits of, these are things that you should start putting together, that if you don't have a business tool checklist, having next sheets, a tablet or notebook, a blank listing agreement, start putting those things together and start creating the habit that when you go on every listing appointment, these are the tools I'm going to have with me. Oh, I forgot the CMA. So
I like
I have
that.
to breathe. Are we up to 4? I think we're up to 5 now. This is the last one.
Yeah, last one. Here we go.
Last one.
Oh, wait, what's a CRM, Norman?
What's a good CRM?
What's a good CRM?
The one you use, Norman. That's a good CRM. The one you actually use.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the one you're not using because it's just sitting there, right? Not for you, Leisel. I'm saying just in general. But the one you're not using.
With Norman, some great recommendations have been Chime. I personally use Chime. What else you've heard about, like Follow Up Boss, Tristan?
Chime, Follow Up Boss, Real Geeks. Those are good. They all have their own strengths. I think it's just a matter of taking a look at which ones you guys like, right?
Yeah, definitely. I use Follow Up Boss, amazing CRM. Yeah, it's actually the one you use and what you're most comfortable with. So, because the one I had previously, Tristan made me get rid of it after using it for like 5 years. And I had an amazing Christmas because of Tristan transferred about 15,000 leads from CRM.
It's funny. But now she's happy.
I am happy. Thank you. I am happy, but I hated you over the holiday, but I'm happy. You're welcome, Norman. Anything for you. And
Yes.
last but not least, what I want to talk about, number 5, which is very, very important, and people overlook this so much, is your mindset and doing affirmations before going on an appointment. Because you've got the listing appointment. Now is when the work starts, because you now have to get ready to go meet that seller and take that listing. And one thing people have to keep in mind, you only have one shot to get this listing, one shot to make a great impression to the seller, and just one shot overall. The seller's not going to tell you, oh, you can come back later to interview again. So you have to make sure you're doing everything that you can to be well prepared for this listing appointment. And the best way and strategy to do that is with mindset and affirmations. I actually have the mindset when I'm sitting in front of the house, and guys, this is going to be me sounding a little bit crazy, but it works. But I actually sit in the house and do affirmations where I'm hyping myself up. First of all, I park my car around the corner. I will say that because I don't want the seller looking out the window. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to get this listed. So I'm just thinking that I'm crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm actually hyping myself up in my car, before I actually walk into the seller's house. And the affirmations I use, and you guys can feel free to use them, is my favorite one is, this listing is mine if I want it. That's my favorite affirmation. This listing is mine if I want it. Another one I say is, they are going to sign the listing agreement. And in the background, I have, well, for now, my song is Millie Rock. I just want to rock, because I'm like, they're going to sign. They're going to sign. And last but not least is another one I use. They're excited and they're happy and they want to work with me. And this is me partying in my car, saying all these affirmations to get ready to go on that listing appointment. So that's one thing I definitely want to share, because these affirmations truly work. I've been in this business 11 years. I've just showed you guys. I've taken tons of listings. And these are the strategies that I've employed over the years to help me be as successful as I have been in my business. So affirmations and mindset is really, really, really big and important for me. So Tristan, I know you have something to share on that.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think the affirmations really create the atmosphere you want to have for yourself, so that you walk into a meeting and with energy, with better energy, because energy matters. Like I would want to work with Leisel. Well, that's why we work together, right? Yeah. Because she's awesome. So she probably does affirmations right before we talk too. No,
I do.
I'm joking.
No, I'm serious, Tristan. Before our first meeting, I actually had an affirmation. Tristan is going to like me and work with me.
Oh, I love you. So it worked.
It worked. And Donnell was looking at me like, why are you doing this? I'm like, business.
I love that. All right. So Leisel, where do people follow you, and where do people learn more about you, whether to work with you, hire you to speak, or anything?
Okay, I am on Instagram, and it's Leisel _tailormade_broker, and I'll put that in the chat as well. You can also send an email to Leisel at LeiselTaylor.com. I'm trying to type while I'm talking. And also, I can give out my phone number on here. Is that okay, Tristian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And also my phone number is 240-760-9192. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to share information. My guy Norman is on here and he can attest to that as well. I'm just here to help people grow and provide as much information as I can. And the one thing, like I said earlier, I definitely wanted to share, these are things that I am personally doing in my business. This is not just me talking out of a textbook, because I'm sure Tristian has met a lot of agents who talk what they do because of what a textbook says, and they've never done any of those practices in their business.
Very true.
This is me giving real life examples of, the 5 steps the things that I do to actually get ready to go on a listing appointment and how I've actually taken listings in my business. So I just hope this was truly helpful for everyone who came on.
It was awesome. Today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And this one was brought to you by RedX. We both use RedX. So
I love RedX. Love, love, love.
So if you want to jump in and grab some data on there, make some calls, jump into RedX. Leisel, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No, thank you, Tristian. I appreciate you. And anytime you want me on here, I got you.
Well, we need you more often, for sure. So thanks. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome day. Thank you, Leisel.
Have an awesome day. Okay, thanks, Tristian. Bye.